Welcome to my channel, Lux Lux Lucem. I am Frank. I am happy to be back with you today. Really happy. A promise is a promise. We are finally going to talk about the C.A.C S200 from TB Outdoor. The C.A.C comes in several versions. The classic C.A.C with a corkscrew and the C.A.C S200 without a corkscrew. Each is available in different materials and colors. I invite you to discover the models, materials, and colors on the TB Outdoor website. I'd also like to thank TB Outdoor for renewing their trust in me, even though my recent health issues have complicating things a little. For your information, I had a myocardial infarction 2 months ago. And if you end up liking the C.A.C or another knife, TB Outdoor offers blade engraving with the code Lux Lux Lucem, so don't hesitate to treat yourself, and thanks again to TB Outdoor. So the nice surprise is that the C.A.C arrives in a plastic box. It's a very clean and looks high quality. When you receive a knife in a slightly soft cardboard box, it's not the same. First impressions are important, and this one's a good one. So the C.A.C I'm presenting to you is the S200 model, with a smooth blade and toxified G10 scales. The G10 is an option, but it's worth it. It's worth noting that the C.A.C comes in a nice box, but without a sheath or spork. If you want the sheath and or spork, you will have to add them. They are optional. The C.A.C is the French Army's field knife. TB Outdoor and the French Army have a history that has lasted for about 3 decades. There was the Baroudeur with the olive handle, and before that, the Bivouac with the red handle. Both are still for sale on the TB Outdoor website. If you want to know more about these two ancestors, I'll post a link to my test at the end of this video. And so, the C.A.C arrived to replace the Baroudeur. I'll show you the military version I borrowed for the video, which immediately went back into its owner's pocket. On this subject, I'd like to take this opportunity to remind you of the law. The transfer, whether free of charge or for a fee, of French military items such as the C.A.C or the purchase of this type of item is prohibited and punishable by law. It is against the law to sell or buy military items. It's therefore wiser to get the civilian version of the C.A.C. And secondly, please check laws in your own country to be sure that you have the right to carry or possess this kind of knife. This is your responsibility. Please think carefully before putting a knife in your pocket or bag. Now that that's out of the way, let's get down to business. The C.A.C has a fairly long belt clip. This allows it to be attached to a pocket, belt, or a molly loop. The clip spring is strong enough, and the knife doesn't move or fall. For those who prefer sheath, it is also molly compatible, and the loop also allows it to be used on even a wide belt. And this clip can be installed on either side of the knife depending on your carrying preferences. The C.A.C meets French Army specification. These specifications include a corkscrew. I chose the S200 without the corkscrew. Why? Because it duplicates the corkscrew of my Swiss Army knife, a Victorinox Spartan, which is always in my pocket or bag when I go hiking. It's also a question of grip. I find the ender without the corkscrew more comfortable. It is totally personal. It's one of the choices I made that may surprise you, and other choices may surprise you even more. My other choice was G10 instead of PA6. PA6 is a plastic with fiberglass. It's strong. There's no doubt about that. It's just aesthetics. I find the toxified G10 really beautiful, especially in black. And what's more, the toxification makes the grip more secure, even if your hands are wet or muddy. The blade has a thumb stud, which allows for one-handed opening and is ambidextrous. Regarding safety, the C.A.C blades locks automatically thanks to an axis lock, also known as a crossbar lock. This locking system was previously found only on Benchmade knives. It's a spring-actuated metal cylinder that locks into a cutout in the blade. It is unstoppable and absolutely reliable. I've been using a Benchmade mini Griptilian for almost 15 years and have never had the slightest problem with this type of locking system. Plus, it's completely ambidextrous and can be used with one hand. At the time of the C.A.C release, the axis lock was still covered by a patent, so Baroudeur took a license from Benchmade to use and readapt it. The patent is now in the public domain. Hence, the recent proliferation of knives offering systems inspired by the axis lock. The blade is made of nitrox steel, a nitrogen-doped steel that produces a blade that is less susceptible to oxidation while maintaining certain qualities of sharpness, edge retention, hardness, and ease of sharpening. Moreover, the hardness is measured between 54 and 56 HOC. This represents a good compromise between the qualities I just mentioned. The blade shape is a drop point with jimping, the pattern on the spine of the blade near the thumb stud. This allows for a better grip and minimizes the risk of slipping. The blade measures 85 mm or 3.34 inches. My third choice, which I know generates a lot of debate, was to choose a smooth blade rather than a partially serrated blade. When I am away for several days, I prefer to sharpen a smooth blade rather than serrated ones. It's easier, requires less equipment, and takes less time. I agree that for some uses, serrated blades do the job very well, but for hiking, I prefer the ease of maintenance of a smooth blade. The blade is hinged to the handle thanks to an adjustable screw, which is itself secured by a locking screw. You can therefore adjust the stiffness of the opening mechanism, and once done, the stainless steel screw locks the adjustment. I will come back in several short videos to the different adjustments and mods possible on this knife. So subscribe if you are interested in seeing that. As you can see, the C.A.C is a big baby. It measures 145 mm when closed and weighs 195 grams. It seems big, yet it's super comfortable. I don't have large hands, and I was surprised to find it comfortable from the first time I touched it. The handle is long because the knife has a strap cutter and a window breaker. I wasn't able to test the window breaker. I don't understand why, but no one wanted to lend me the car. However, I tested the strap cutter, and we are talking about it right away. So I did two tests. One on a seatbelt I got from a junkyard, and another one on 550 paracord. The paracord doesn't hold up very long in front of our strap cutter. It's clean, it cuts. On the seatbelt, it's a different story. It gets stuck. It goes slightly into the strap and then you can't move forward. I tried it several times off camera and I couldn't do it. But as I was recently reminded, adapting is dominating. S'adapter, c'est dominer. A French army motto. I not only have a strap cutter in case of need, but also a very good blade. The blade cuts the seatbelt as if it were a simple fishing line. The sharpness of this blade is just impressive. It cuts effortlessly. And the same on the paracord. I am amazed by this blade. Thanks again to Baroudeur for the trust. And thank you also for allowing me to say what I really feel, for allowing me freedom of tone and speech in my content. I wasn't kind with the strap cutter, and they let me say it. Other brands prohibit criticism, and that's why I don't work with them, but with Baroudeur. Don't forget my code Lux Lux Lucem attached, which will allow you to have your blade engraved, except zebra and Damascus, because that's not technically possible. For practical use, the C.A.C does the job very well. The C.A.C is the French Army's field knife, C.A.C, and that stands for Combat Assistance Campaign. For bivouacs, it does everything you'd expect from a field knife, whether you need to make kindling, or cutting small wood to build your fire, prepare your food, or any small task we do when we sit down to eat or rest. The C.A.C will be there for you. It cuts really well and sharpens really easily. It's not one of those steels that are difficult to sharpen, and that's a real quality for a hiking, bivouac, or camping knife. It is also a combat knife. Its grip allows it. Some will tell me that the blade isn't long enough or that a combat knife is a fixed blade. I will say that a combat knife is the one you have with you. And on the other hand, if you have reached the point of using a knife, it's because many options have been exhausted. For me, it's above all a super versatile knife. Whether you have small or large hands, whether you are used to carrying a knife and sharpening it or not, this knife will suit you. I have small hands and this large handle fits me like a glove. I also know that not everyone is super comfortable with sharpening, and the cork sharpens easily. It's the blade qualities I mentioned that make this possible. I was impressed by my first encounter with a CAC. It was the military version, and I am impressed by its civilian version. Its large handle may be surprising, but it's so comfortable. The Toxified G10 ensures a very secure grip, especially with the jimping on the tang of the blade. The clip is ambidextrous and long enough to hang it in a pocket or on a mall strap. Opening and closing the blade is done with one hand and is ambidextrous thanks to the thumb stud and axis lock. Maintaining the knife is super simple and requires very limited tools, an Allen wrench and oil. And yet, oil can be enough for routine maintenance. A knife that is kept clean and lubricated is a knife that will last. It might seem strange to hear me say this, but I think this is a knife made for almost everyone, whether for professional or recreational use. Whether you fell in love with knives as a child or this is your first. It's a practical and easy to use knife. Whether you're a soldier, a civilian, a hiker, a camper, or a bushcraft fan, the folding knife is truly the way to go. I am rarely so impressed by a knife, especially after using one. Its only flaw is that I couldn't cut the strap with a strap cutter, but I got through it thanks to its blade. I know that a blade is not a substitute for a strap cutter, and that a strap cutter helps ensure the safety of the person being rescued, but at least with the blade you can save that person. So for me, the C.A.C is a resounding yes. It's truly ambidextrous. The axis lock is truly secure, and the handle is comfortable. I love it. It's versatile. The knife costs between €109 and €139, depending on the option. The sheath costs €20, and the spork costs €8. The scales are user replaceable. The blade can also be changed by yourself. Maintenance is easy, parts are readily available. What more could you ask for? That is exactly what I'd like to know. Have you ever used it? What do you think of this knife? Let me know in the comments. The CAC represents the expertise of a French company manufacturing in Thiers, France. That's good for French jobs, and it is nice to see a genuine French product. The CAC is made by Tarerias Bonjean, who has been carrying on the cutlery heritage since 1648. The CAC is a collaboration with Philippe Perotti, a former member of the French Special Forces, and it has also become the replacement for my good old Bivouac utility knife. Here's my card, Lux Lux Lucem, if you want to take advantage of a free blade engraving with my promo code. I thank TB Outdoor again for the trust and patience. I would have liked to release this video sooner, but circumstances decided otherwise. I'm happy to be back, period. And happy to be back with you. The next time we will talk about TB Outdoor, it will be to discover a fixed blade, the Baroudeur. We will also see you again for some videos on maintenance, disassembly of the CAC, and modifications that can be made to your CAC. If you like this video and want to see more, don't forget to subscribe. Please like, share, comment, it really helps out the channel to grow. Thanks for watching. I am still Frank and you're still watching Lux Lux Lucem. Take care and see you soon.